Man, it just seems to keep going from bad to worse over there at PBC. Andy Ruiz Jr. to fight Tyrone Spong on July the 16th in Mexico City. Here he is right here, Ness of the Boxing Voice. Kickboxer, 14-0 with 13 KOs in boxing of the Netherlands. He's been rumored for years now to be fighting various different heavyweights. As you can look at his resume, nothing there. This is simply a showcase fight for Andy Ruiz down in Mexico. It's going to be on pay-per-view over on Triller. Pay-per-view. So that's our July pay-per-view here in the States. No fight price is announced yet here in the States. It's going to be on fight.tv. I know you have a lot of questions like where is Robert Helenius, Adam Kownacki, Luis Ortiz, fuck it, Charles Martin. But you know what this screams to me is that PBC didn't have the money for him. Remember, the last time he fought was against Chris Arreola in another bullshit fight. You might as well say it was a fun fight, but it didn't mean anything. So now this is 2 bullshit fights in 2 years since he fought Anthony Joshua 2.5 years ago. That was last May he fought Chris Arreola. Very fun fight, but it shouldn't have been pay-per-view. This is why PBC always has those money issues that people are talking about, and now more than ever, that it looks like the PBC on Fox deal is done. We are now in April. Nothing has been lined up or talked about for PBC on Fox, which has hosted Andrew Ruiz in the past, and many PBC heavyweights and fighters. It looks like Showtime is the only game in town. So basically, a deal came or was sold out from Triller by, his manager, Al Heyman or whoever. And they were like, all right, listen, champ, none of these guys don't want to fight you. Or listen, we don't have the money for these guys to fight you. But Triller's got some bread and they'll give you your Mexican homecoming. You see what I'm saying? That's all this means to me. It's taking place in the Plaza de Toros. Did I say that right? Here is the arena. Let's see. It's a bull ring. Okay, is this it? But it's like, bro, like boxing is really fucked up right now. Especially when you look at everything that's been going on with PBC with all of these pay-per-views. I can only imagine this pay-per-view is going to be $50. Likely it's going to be $50. A part of Triller Fight Club. Other news that has come out is that Triller has lost its default money of about $1.2 million that has to go to Cambosos and Tiafimo. Triller also has an event coming up. Let's see here. They got that Sergey Kovalev event coming up soon, right? This one. How much? It doesn't say what the price is. Let's see. Purchase options. $29 for this Sergey Kovalev card. Or you can get Triller Fight Pass. I may get that, to be honest. Fuck it, I buy anything else, right? But yeah, this has Sergey Kovalev versus Tervel Pulev, the brother of Kubrat Pulev, the one that allegedly, supposedly exposed Bad Sushi, Ginny Sushi. Kubrat Pulev is fighting. Who is he fighting? Jerry Forrest. And then, you even have what? Oh, I thought they had another Michael Hunter fight coming up. But it's just like, bro, really, Andrew Ruiz, I feel bad. Because when he went over to PBC after Top Rank, I'm guessing, which it seems as though they have a history of doing, is that they promised him a lot of money, so they can guide his career. And they really couldn't make do on the promise. And now we're getting him fighting fucking Tyrone Spong, Ness, the boxing voice, over on Triller. I know that Ness joke has been going on around. No, seriously though, Spong, he's been around for like quite some time, and I forgot who the last couple of names he was rumored to fight. But now look, on pay-per-view, he's fighting our former unified champion, Andy Ruiz. And when you look, I'm going to pull up the rankings here. My beautiful website, FightView360.com, that's updated monthly in accordance with the sanctioned bodies. And if you look, let's just go down to some of the heavyweights. And you know what I think it is? I think it comes down to these guarantees. Between PBC and Matchroom, they have a history, and especially with PBC longer, they have a history of like in the zone, you know, match from the zone. They have a history of allegedly like guaranteeing these fighters a lot of money that they really can't generate. So therefore, you get all these pay-per-views. It's like, oh well, you know, champ, go sell yourself. You know, and this is, you know, likely why you can't get an Andy Ruiz like back in the day, something like an Andy Ruiz versus a Robert Helenius on a regular Showtime or regular Fox, because the budget's not there. It eats up the whole broadcast budget and more. You know, you can't give an Andy Ruiz something like, you know, $5 million to fight on regular Showtime. Like, it just doesn't work like that. I don't know what their budget cap is, but you never see those guys make more than like $2 million or something like that. You know, when we got fights like Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, that was, you know, when PBC and Showtime and God knows who else put money in to keep that fight off pay-per-view or on, you know, a regular platform. But in this case, looking at all these names, it's like, bro, they couldn't give us a Frank Sanchez. You see what I'm saying? Luis Ortiz, that's the fight we thought was going to happen. And that's the fight we were all banking on. Us boxing fans like, yo, well, you know, Andy Ruiz, Luis Ortiz at least is going to, you know, happen sometime soon. But what's going on with Luis Ortiz? How much did they guarantee him? So really, you know, what? Luis Ortiz and Andy Ruiz, if they fight, they're probably both expecting maybe $3 million more a piece. And that's just on the low end. You know, Luis Ortiz is probably expecting that. They probably fucking, Andrew Ruiz is probably supposed to be getting what, 10 or something. And then the pay-per-view, what, does 120,000 pay-per-view buys or something because it's not a pay-per-view fight? The boxing market is fucked up. And, you know, you've been hearing all these years, like PBC is going to go out of business. They're blowing money. They're blowing money. It's still happening. And now we're seeing, once again, Fox seems to be out. So for Andrew Ruiz, he's in a really, really tough spot because it's like, you know, now that we don't know what's going on with Wilder, I already pretty much predicted myself that he ain't coming back no time soon. And I didn't expect for him to be back within a year after he had lost Tyson Fury back in October. So here's how the heavyweight division is stacking up right now. Obviously, Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte, they're fighting next week. Tomorrow, Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte are having a media conference call, which we're going to be on and streaming like right here on the channel. I don't even have the date on the channel. It's April the 13th right now. Spence Ugas is on pay-per-view this week. For example, look at the pay-per-views we have right now. Spence Ugas this week, April the 16th, $75. April the 23rd on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte. I did a whole video on that. That's $70. May the 7th on the Zone pay-per-view, $60 if you have a subscription. God knows what, like 70, 75 if you don't. For the Zone, May the 7th, Canelo versus Bivol. May the 28th for $75. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Rolly Romero, and he's also talking about leaving and bouncing from PBC. And then you got Errol Spence sending out mixed messages. But looking at the heavyweight division, we got Fury Whyte next week, next Saturday. You got Usyk Joshua that's being targeted that's being targeted for July 2022, of course. Daniel Dubois and Trevor Bryan are fighting. Don King won the purse bid, waiting for that. That's to be the mandatory on the WBA side. Michael Hunter, we don't know what's going on with him. Filip Hrgovic is taking on Zhang Ji Li on the undercard of Canelo versus Bivol to be the mandatory, IBF mandatory for the winner of Usyk versus Joshua. Right, the number one in line winner for Usyk versus Joshua. Usyk was the last mandatory. So as far as mandatories are concerned, it's supposed to be the winner of Hrgovic, Zhang, but likely it'll be the winner of Fury Whyte to be undisputed. But in mandatory terms, it's supposed to be Hrgovic, Zhang, Dubois, Bryant, and then Joe Joyce, or is it Joe Joyce then Dubois, Bryant? I think it's Joe Joyce next. I think he's the next mandatory. But when you look at all these guys, like look at all these guys that are out there not doing anything and looking for fights. And now you got him going over to Triller. Like, bro, you know, doesn't make sense for me. I would have rather him fought on the Zone or in the UK, you know, against the Derek Chisora, some shit like that. At least it would have had some type of buzz to it, even though that would have been a boring, meaningless fight. But still, look at all the other fights that are available. Look at all the other fights that are available. Sad times, man. Sad times. So we're going to keep you updated on this. Of course, I'm going to be covering the fight. Like I said, I'm in shock myself. I woke up from a nap to this horrific boxing news. I'm going to be interested to see what the undercard is going to be, and don't be surprised if you see maybe some other PBC fighters on there. Maybe, I mean, it's down in Mexico. We're going to see how they put this card together. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. I am T Street Controversy with Fight View 360. Follow me on Twitter at T Street Controversy.